The B-boys held up a mirror to the black inner city when times were tough and getting tougher. What started as a party movement became a protest movement, and the rhymes follow suit. From throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care, to don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
My brother's doing fast on my mother's TV. Says she watches too much, it's just not healthy. All my children in the daytime, Dallas at night. Can't even see the game or the Sugar Ray fight. The bill collectors, they ring my phone and scare my wife when I'm not home. Got a bum education, double-digit inflation. Can't take the train to the job, there's a strike at the station. Neon King Kong standing on my back, can't stop to turn around. Broke my sacroiliac, a mid-range migraine cancer.
As far as the message is concerned, all records prior to that were frivolous, happy-go-lucky, party, let's get down. This particular record had to be created by somebody who lived and understood urban America.
It really was the first time, in a very coherent, musically accessible way, that you had a rap record that dealt with the society around us in America. And certainly, every record that came after that dealt with anything social was influenced or was a response to the message.
If you reflect on American culture and civilization today, you will note that no longer does the adage that ample education and hard work yield the benefits of the good life. In fact, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five would put it this way: I think it would be cheaper just to be a street sweeper. Don't push me, 'cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. Sometimes it makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
Rats in the front room, roaches in the back, junkies in the alley with the baseball bat. I tried to get away, but I couldn't get far, 'cause a man with a tow truck repossessed my car.
That record put us on a whole nother plane. We were the first rap group to be in a major magazine, Life, Time. We were on the cover of Rolling Stone. This put us in a venue that we couldn't believe. Scary, real scary. You know, 6 black guys from the ghetto. Now we're like worldwide heroes now. Kind of scary.
It's called the Bronx.
No more make-believe. We killed that era now. Now it's real. I'm rhyming about the Bronx. It's a place that you could point to on your map. The street I'm rhyming about, it really exists. There are real battles. We are for real.
Now way back in the days when hip-hop began, with Coca, La Rock, Cool Herc, and then bam, Beach Boys ran to the latest jam. But when it got shot up, they went home and said, damn, it's got to be a better way to hear our music every day. People's getting blown away, but coming outside anyway. They tried again outside and see the park. Power from a street light made the place dark. But yo, they didn't care, they turned it out. I know a few understand what I'm talking about. Remember Bronx River, rolling thick, with cool DJ Red Alert and Chuck Chill Out on the mix. When Africa Islam was rocking the jams, and on the other side of town was a kid named Flash.
The Bronx was a very new time when I was in it. It was, crack was just being introduced, just. It was a big thing, and I wrote about it. It was a song called Listen to My 9mm Go Bang on Criminal Minds.
KRS-One, a homeless graffiti artist, came to the Bronx in the early 1980s. In 1987, with his partner Scott La Rock, he released Criminal Minded, a hip-hop record with a harder edge than anything that had gone before. Shortly afterwards, Scott La Rock was shot dead in the Bronx.
By the name of Peter, had to buck him down with my 9mm. He said I had his girl, I said, now what to you, stupid? But he tried to play me out, and KRS-One knew it. He reached for his pistol, but it was just a waste, 'cause my 9mm was up against his face. He pulled his pistol anyway, and I filled him full of lead. But just before he fell to the ground, this is what I said. Wah-da-da-dang, wah-da-da-da-dang. Hey, listen to my 9mm go bang. Wah-da-da-dang, wah-da-da-da-dang. Hey, this is KRS-One.
And I think in the Bronx, when that kind of drug was introduced, it became a survival thing. You either, you're either smoking crack or you're not. And it was like, you know, everybody was on this survival thing, which created those kinds of songs, which created that kind of art. And, you know, that's really what it was with the Bronx. It was, the Bronx has a lot of energy, huge energy. And if you're on the streets of the Bronx, you have nothing but to get that energy.
See, me and my brother jump in the BM, driving around our territory again. I stopped at the light like a superstar, and automatic weapons cold sprayed my car. I hit the accelerator scared as and drove 1 block to find my brother was hit. He wasn't dead, but the blood was pouring, and all I could think about was Warren. Later I found that it was Rob and his crew. Now tell me what the f am I supposed to do?
I think KRS-One, by all means necessary, was, you know, a very significant record in a lot of ways. It's one of the first times that Malcolm X imagery became a very big symbol in the Black America. It's a direct correlation because the image of him with the automatic weapon that's on the cover of that KRS-One album is a mock-up or an approximation of a famous photograph that was in the New York Times of Malcolm X after his house had been bombed in Queens. And the Uzi was the gun to have. It was the first designer gun, if you will. And, you know, 7, 8 years later, whatever many years later it is now, you know, the gun as a fashion accessory is a big part of rap culture, a big part of American street culture.
Well, what happened is that America looked back for someone from the 30s or 40s. They were actually looking for someone like John Wayne, but John Wayne was no longer available, and so they had to settle for Ronald the Reagan. And it has given us all the feeling that we are somehow being cast as supporting or non-supporting characters in a B-movie, a BR.
Gil Scott-Heron, a radical jazz poet of the 1970s, was the guiding spirit of the political hip-hop which emerged in the late 80s with rappers like KRS-One and Public Enemy.
B-movie. The producer, underwritten by all the millionaires necessary, will be Casper, the defensive Weinberger. No more animated a choice available.
He also inspired the revival of a more traditional jazz poetry scene led by New York artists like Dana Bryant.
The inmates taking over at the asylum.
At the time that Gil Scott-Heron came around, he was, it was a revolutionary kind of concept that a person could speak about really volatile political issues in the context of what had traditionally been thought of as romantic form of poet or the troubadour. He said some really heavy things using a very sort of soft, subtle undercurrent medium.
Symbols of democracy are pinned against the coast. The outhouse of bureaucracy surrounded by a moat. Citizens of poverty are barely out of sight. The overlords escape near evening, the brothers on the night. Morning come and bring the tourists straining rubbernecks. Perhaps a glimpse of the cowboy making the world a new respect.
There was a tradition of oral passing on of knowledge. There was another language of drums which had the same impact as the spoken word did to a people. And I think that with rap, I think that's what gives it the weight and power that it has, because on first listening, unless you're really, I suppose, of the people, you may not necessarily understand what's being said, but there's some heavy shit going down.
This is a journey. Journey to sound.
Redeemer full of culture.
Get it. I got so much trouble on my mind. Refuse to lose. Here's your ticket. Hear the drummer get wicked. The clue to you to push the back the black attack. So I sack and jab and slack the Mac. Now I'm ready to mic it.
And what I was showing is that the gun symbolized our capture from Africa, with the European using it and taking us from our motherland and putting us wherever he wanted to put us.
Well, welcome to the Terror Dome.
we have to be able to enforce our own laws in our community. You see, the black community is a plantation still because we don't have control over the 3 E's: economics, education, and empowerment. You know, enforcement, I should say. So without that, you know, you're just being told what to do by somebody else from the outside. And that's what hurts the most.
Hit me!
There's not a minute to spare.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Gone. Now I dialed 911 a long time ago. Don't you see how late they reacting? They only come and they come when they wanna. So get the more truck and then bob the corner.
Rap is a conquest of media. It's media hijacking. I call it media piracy, which means that it's immense use of words. You're able to get a big text across to people, you know, especially since video. You can get visual images across with that text. Some of them could be related, maybe not related, and it could serve as some sort of information network of sorts that goes along with entertainment and fuel the mind as well as the body and the soul. I was born in 1960. I remember things like, you know, Dr. King getting shot and being sent home from school early, Robert F. Kennedy, remembering Malcolm X getting shot, Medgar Evers, you know, so these things as a child, I remember. You have to pay the price for being too black and too strong, but you shouldn't have to waver. You should just be that particular way.
They've seen things go backwards. They've seen the government become less interested in civil rights and in black advancement. They've seen the businesses in the black community disappear. They've seen an influx of drugs. When I was coming up, heroin was just coming in, but they've seen heroin and angel dust and crack cocaine. They've seen an increasing number of guns in the community to a level that was unprecedented. It is unprecedented in American history. So they've seen the educational system, after all the great works of integrating the school system, fall apart in most of the big cities. So I think I'm of a more optimistic generation precisely because we saw change happen. You have a generation that has seen no change, or has seen negative change.
What we say can also be viewed as noise, irritating. Oh, no, stop it, turn it off. And we're gonna bring it regardless. So we're gonna be too black and too strong and just deal with whatever comes down the line.